All right, finals. It's already finals, and we're back with annuities. So, throughout our course, we have always considered here's a timeline, this is our money borrowed, and then we're going to prepay that loan. And that's not always the case. What do we mean by that? Lahat ng pinag-usapan natin so far is about borrowing money and then returning it fully in a single pay. Okay? But that's not always the case. Say, for example, you're gonna buy a car or gonna buy a motorcycle. So, buying a car or buying a vehicle is a type of loan that has a consistent and regular pay. And that is a good example of what we call an annuity. And it's gonna look something like this. Okay? You have your money borrowed, and every month you're gonna pay a specific amount within the bank or within wherever you borrowed the money for you to get the motorcycle. Okay? So all of the situations that we have considered so far, again, when we talked about simple interest, simple discount, or compound interest, have had something in common, and it's the fact that the sum of money that we lent will be repaid in full all at once at the maturity date. So while the terminology and formulas have varied, timelines for any of these loans that have looked like this would be considered a collection of equal payments made at regular time intervals. And when you do something like that, or when we talk about something like that, we're going to talk about annuity, or we are actually talking about annuity. Okay, so let's already start with the first question. How much will Rhea have as a future value if she deposits a total of 3,000 pesos at the end of each year into an account paying 6% compounded annually for 30 years? So the answer here is Rhea will have 237,174 pesos and 56 centavos after 30 years. And how are we able to compute that? Okay, so for us to find the future value of an ordinary annuity, here is our formula. Okay, SNI is the future value annuity factor. Okay, so the annuity factor may be found from tables, calculator, or computer programs or formulas. So, again, this is a sample table of annuity factors. This would be the number of payment, and this is the interest. So in our case, we're going to use 6%. So again, here we go, 6%. The number of payments will be made would be 30 times because you're going to pay one time per year. And therefore, our value would be, or our rate per period, or I, would be 79.0581862. Therefore, to find our future value, we have 3,000. This is our deposit. We multiply that by 79.0581862 that we were able to get from our table. 237,174 pesos and 56 centavos. The reason why 3,000 is the representation for PMT actually is because of the fact that PMT means payment. Okay? So isang ano lang talaga yung PMT na yan. Isang variable lang siya. Alright, next question. Let's try to find the future value annuity factor for a monthly annuity with a 15-year term and a 7.1 interest rate. So actually finding this out, or finding the value, this 319.73, without looking at our table would be very beneficial for us. So how are we going to find the future value annuity factor? Of course, there's going to be a formula. The future value annuity factor formula is equivalent to the following. 1 plus I, the value of that raised to n, minus 1 all over I. So you're simply going to substitute or plug in the values. N is the number of time periods, I is the interest rate per period. That's it. So, in the given, we have 1 plus 0.071 all over 12, 15 times 12 minus 1, all over 0.071 all over 12. So find the future value annuity factor for a monthly annuity. This is the reason why we need to divide our I by 12 and why we need to multiply 15 by 12, because we're trying to convert it into months. Okay? So the answer is 319.73. All right, next question. Irvi deposits 250 pesos each month into an account paying 4.5% for 5 years. So how much interest does he earn? The answer here is 1,786 pesos and 39 centavos. Okay. So in finding the total interest earned, we just need to subtract the total payments from the future value. So this is what it's going to look like. As you can see, since Irvi pays 250 pesos each month into an account, okay? So 0.045 is going to be divided by 12, and then 5 years is going to be multiplied by 12, okay? Following that, we will get this as our factor. Uulitin ko po, ang hinanap pa lang natin dito is yung ating future value annuity factor. Para ma-multiply natin ito by 250. Okay? As you can see, there we go. And when we do that, we will get 16,786.38888 and so on. So, ang mangyayari dito, ibabawas natin yung 16,786. Siya yung babawasan natin nung ating binabayaran monthly. So, we're gonna do it this way. The deposits made is 250 pesos per month for 5 years, meaning that's gonna be 250 times 5 because it's 5 years, and each year is 12 months. Remember that yung 250 binabayad mo kada buwan. Ibig sabihin that 60 months kang nagbabayad ng 250. Meaning you paid 15,000 for a total of 15,000 for the whole 5 years. Okay? Babawas natin yun, 16,786 minus 15,000, and thus we will get 1,786 pesos and 39 centavos. Okay, next. Sarah deposits 2,500 at the start of each year at 8 1/4% interest, okay, compounded interest. How much will she have after 40 years? Okay, so the answer is 898,654 pesos and 88 centavos. Okay, so the future value of an annuity due or annuity due, whichever you prefer to say or however you prefer to say it. The future value annuity due formula is equivalent to the payment multiplied by the factor multiplied by the quantity of the sum of 1 plus the interest rate. Therefore, the calculation is done the same way as the ordinary annuity, but then we multiply it by 1 plus I at the end. Okay? So actually, malaki ang nagagawa ng difference kapag magbabayad ka ng annuity due mo when it is paid at the beginning of each month rather than at the end. Kasi each payment is made earlier. So it stands to reason that the annuity due would have a larger future value than the ordinary annuity since yung payments natin have a longer time of gaining interest. Hence the reason kung bakit meron tayong 1 plus I. Okay? And dito rin natin makikita na mas lalaki siya talaga kasi may additional pa tayong i-multiply dun sa ating future value formula. Okay? So, we will have this formula. And so, we are going to substitute the following. Again, alam na natin kung paano kunin yung ating annuity factor. And afterwards, as you can see, we added that together. And then, multiplying them all together, we will get 898,654 pesos and 88 centavos. Okay, next. How much should Janine set aside at the start of each quarter to accumulate 10,000 pesos in 2 years, assuming her account earns 4.8%? So, the answer is she needs to set aside 1,184 pesos and 23 centavos each quarter. Okay? So, that's roughly around 4,000 mahigit kada taon. So, how were we able to compute that? Okay? Sinking funds. A sinking fund is just an annuity whose payments are determined by the desired future value. Use the future value annuity formula, we find the annuity factor, and then use a little bit of algebra with our balance principle to find the payment amount. Okay? So in this case, ang target kasi natin, ang target ni Janine is magkaroon ng 10,000 after 2 years. End of story. Okay? She's not saving for the sake of saving and not knowing what would happen to her money afterwards. In this case, she has a goal of getting 10,000 pesos after 2 years. So, this is our formula again. As you can see, 10,000 multiplied by our payment. So we don't know the payment yet. Our factors, here we go. And 1 plus interest. Our interest is 4.8%. The 4.8% here represents the whole year. And since she's going to pay per month, 4.8% divided by 4 is 1.2%. Okay? So hence our I is 0.012. So after that, we're going to have the following. And then as you can see, you simply need to multiply the 2. And the product would be the denominator. This would be the numerator. And the answer with the division would be the payment. Therefore, the answer is 1,184 pesos and 23 centavos. Ibig sabihin, per quarter, Janine needs to set aside this much value so that she would be able to have 10,000 after 2 years in her account with the rate of 4.8%. Okay, next question. To accumulate 1 million by age 70, how much would Nina need to deposit semi-monthly, assuming that she starts at the age of 65, 50, 35, 25, 18, or age 2? So here's your answer. Okay, I'm sorry. Those should be in pesos. Okay, I forgot to edit those parts. So, sinking funds and a retirement planning. To accumulate a large future value, the period of time makes an enormous difference in the size of the payments needed. Let's go back to this table. As you can see, the earlier, the better. You may have a larger number of deposits that you have to do, but in turn, you will get larger interests. So the total deposit, here's the total interest. As you can see, this is your total deposit. This is your total interest. Okay, so also the amount of deposit is actually a little bit smaller if you start at a younger age. This is probably one of the reasons, or mainly rather the reason why liligawan at liligawan kayo pag dumating na kayo sa working age. Marami ng retirement plan industries na mandiligaw sa inyo na mag-start na kayo mag-save and so on. Kasi sabi nga nila, the earlier, the better. Okay. Let's go to the next question. How much can Sarah afford to borrow on a car loan if her payments will be 12,750 pesos per month for 3 years at 6%? The answer? 419,105 pesos and 47 centavos. Okay? So we're talking about present value of an ordinary annuity. Therefore, we will use the present value or the annuity formula. PV is equivalent to the payment multiplied by our annuity factor. In this case, our annuity factor, instead of being the future value annuity factor, it's going to be the present. And the annuity factor may be found from tables, calculator, computer programs, or formulas. So for now, gagamit muna tayo ng ating table. Here's our sample table. And let's zoom that in. Remember that we're going to pay 3 years per month. 3 years monthly. So that's a total of 36 number of payments at 6%. Therefore, our interest rate is this, 32.87106162. Okay, so we have 12,750 multiplied by 32.87106162, and we will get 419,105 pesos and 47 centavos. Okay, next. Find the present value annuity factor for a 5-year annuity with quarterly payments, okay, remember that, and a 9% interest rate. So, the answer is 15.96371237. How are we able to get that? Remember, either formula can be used because both give the same results. There's actually another formula, so we can use any of the two. And if we're gonna stick with this, kasi mas simple daw siyang gamitin. Since quarterly nga, magiging 0.09 divided by 4. And then, kaya siya 20 because 5-year yung annuity plan mo. So, 5 years is equivalent to 20 quarters. Okay? Therefore, your answer is 15.96371237. Next. Crystal and Jethro took out a 30-year 1,580,000 mortgage at 7.2%. So how much will their monthly payment be? Okay, so the answer is 10,724 pesos and 85 centavos. This is called finding loan payments. So we're going to use the present value annuity formula. We're going to find the annuity factor and then use a little bit of algebra to find the payment amount. So again, we have this formula. 1,580,000 is our present value. We're going to look for the payment. We're going to solve for our annuity factor. And when we do that, this factor will now be our denominator. This will be our numerator. And of course, we will get 10,724 pesos and 85 centavos. Okay, next question. Crystal and Jethro still took out. And the question now is, how much will their total interest be? So the answer is 2,280,947 pesos and 34 centavos. To find the total interest paid in an annuity, we simply need to subtract the present value from the total number of payments. Okay, so for that, the deposits we made are 10,724 pesos and 85 centavos per month for a total of 30 years. When we do that, okay, we are going to multiply it by 30 and then we're going to multiply that by 12 because we're going to do the deposits per month. So therefore, we actually deposited a total of, or Crystal and Jethro deposited a total of 3,860,974 pesos and 34 centavos. Therefore, we're going to take away the original amount that we loaned, like so. After a few mathematical calculations, would be equivalent to 2,280,947 pesos and 34 centavos. Okay, next. A lottery jackpot is paid out as annual or paid out in annual, a total of 52 million payments for 26 years. If Rizan choose instead to receive a lump sum payment all at once, how much will she receive, assuming a 6% interest rate? Okay, so the answer is 27,566,712 pesos and 32 centavos. So present value of an annuity due. Again, our present value annuity due formula is this. So the calculation is done the same way as our ordinary annuities, but then again, we're going to multiply that by 1 plus I. Because in this case, you want to receive the payment already. So, there we go. We're going to find for the annuity factor. And then 2 million, 6%, and so on. Why is it 2 million? Okay. Your payment actually is simply 2 million per year. So, the current payment is 2 million. You're going to multiply that by your annuity factor. So, you will be able to get 27,566,712 pesos and 32 centavos. Ibig sabihin yan, kung kukunin na ni Rizan, ngayon na, she will only be able to get 27,566,712 pesos and 32 centavos. So almost half naman. Okay, next. So Crystal and Jethro took out a 30-year 1,580,000 peso mortgage at 7.2%. Now create an amortization table for the first 12 monthly payments. So the answer is over here. Again, payment amount, interest amount, principal amount, remaining balance. We could actually do this in Microsoft Excel. Okay, and this is what it's gonna look like if we're gonna do it the mano-mano way. Okay? So, ang tawag dyan ay amortization tables at pinapakita niya yung monthly pay mo. Usually, makikita mo to kapag nag-loan ka ng isang car or ng isang vehicle like a motorcycle. Okay? So, an amortization table again shows payment by payment the amount of interest and the amount of principal and the remaining balance of your loan. So the amount of interest is calculated using the simple interest formula. The amount to principal is the difference between the payment and the interest amount, and the remaining balance is the previous period's balance less the amount paid to the principal. For us to be a little bit more enlightened for that, let's zoom this in. Okay? So again, your interest amount is your remaining balance multiplied by your rate multiplied by your term. Okay? So in this case, your remaining balance is 1,580,000 and then 0.072 multiplied by your time 1 over 12. Okay? 0.072 because 7.2% ang inyong rate. Therefore, afterwards, your principal, okay, your principal amount is your payment minus your interest. Therefore, payment, this is your payment. Take away your interest, you will get 1244.85. As you can see, payment, interest, payment, interest. And the remaining balance is, of course, you deduct your principal amount from the remaining balance. Ibig sabihin, this is your principal amount. You're gonna deduct 1,244 pesos and 85 centavos to the 1 million. Okay? 1 million mahigit. Okay? So if we're gonna look at the second payment, like so, the remaining balance is this. The rate and time are still the same. Your payment will now look like this because your remaining balance or your interest amount, your remaining balance has become a little bit lesser. Okay? And then as you can see, whatever is your principal amount that you need to pay back is going to be taken away from the remaining balance. Okay? There we go. And so on. Let's go to the next question. Assuming that they make all their payments as scheduled, how much will Crystal and Jetro owe on their mortgage after 10 years? So the answer is 2,160,238 pesos and 35 centavos. How? Remember, to find the remaining balance of a loan, you simply need to calculate the present value of the remaining payments. Yun lang. So how? Again, we have present value, PMT, and our factor. So as you can see, our factor is meron silang remaining na 240 payments. Remember that yung payment nila is 30 years and naka 10 years na sila. So again, our payment is 0.006 pa rin. So when we do that, we multiply the payment and our factor, we will get 2,160,238 pesos and 35 centavos. Okay? A reminder, the reason why it's 0.006 is because they need to pay per month. Next question. Jillian has 12 years remaining on a business loan, which is at 15%. Her payments quarterly are 2,531 pesos. So what would her new payment be if she refinances with a 12-year loan at 8%? Okay, so the answer is 1,824 pesos and 51 centavos. So what we have here is considered as refinancing, but we're going to talk about consolidation as well. A loan may be paid off by borrowing the amount needed to do so with a new loan. Ibig sabihin, uutang ka uli para magbayad ng uli ng utang. And it's actually a really witty way of saving a little bit more money because medyo bababa na yung interest mo. As you can see, ni-refinance niya, binayaran niya ng buo, yung loan niya na 15%, bumaba ng 8%. So, refinancing again is replacing a single loan with a new one. But if you have several loans and you're gonna pay them off with a single new loan, ang tawag dun ay consolidation. Okay? So, determine the amount owed on each loan and then use the result as the present value of the new loan. Therefore, let's be first aware sa kung magkano ba talaga yung present value mo dun sa original loan mo. You quarterly pay 2,531 at an interest of 15%. Remember, ang una nating kinocompute dito yung original or yung una mong loan bago ka mag-refinance. So 15% divided by 4 is 3.75%. And then you do it quarterly for 12 years, so that's 48 times na pagbabayad. Therefore, the answer here is 55,963 pesos and 27 centavos. So, ito yung dapat sanang babayaran mo kung 15% or at 15%. Therefore, dahil alam mo na yun yung binayaran mo for the 12 years remaining, yun yung present value mo. Okay? So, in this case, mababayaran mo na siya still in 12 years pero at a lower percent or interest rate, which is 8%. Ngayon, dahil quarterly mo siyang ginagawa, kaya ang ating interest is 0.02 because 8% divided by 4 is 2%. Hence, we will get this, a little bit of algebra, and you will arrive at the answer 1,824 pesos and 51 centavos. Kasi imagine, ang laki ng 15% na business loan. So it was a witty way for Jillian to lower it down and refinance in this case. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you were able to understand a few parts. Good luck. Bye.